Hello and welcome. I'm a little bit late to the party in terms of qualifying for Division 3. Got Mr. Pickle out on the lap, I believe. Let's get the stream on for the man then. Copy. Right, here we go. We've got the stream up and live. Pickle Pits, and we only have Mendel out on track right now. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Right. Mendel's got an invalidated lap. Whether he'll go again, whether he's got enough fuel in the tank to go again, not too sure. Let's get the telemetry up. Nope, he comes to the pits and overshoots it a little bit, does a Hamilton. Gets away with it. Back in the day where there used to be gravel traps, those days are now gone. And he gets quite lucky. Getting on board Metal Saviour, who's on his out lap, and we've also got Piastri, who's on his actual lap. So let's go for a lap with Piastri. I don't really know the corners that well. Don't know them by name, so we'll do our best. China is a very tricky track at the best of times, but currently Piastri is holding a 4/10 gap to second place in Nico. Piastri being able to keep it flat throughout that hard sweeping left-hander, no right-hander, sorry. Down into first gear. Got to be careful on the revs coming up through the gears. You don't want too much wheel spin. Oh, and he pits as well. And let's go back to Saviour, who has an invalidated time so far. Must be struggling through the wet circumstances of the track. Oh, I've just clocked, like, he must have started dry because of the time that Piastri set. Yeah, soft, and then it started off dry. Right, I think that will most likely be it. Edvir going out there to practice in the wet. See if we can try and get some info. Bit of a mixed bag of reactions here. Some people are saying wet and some people are saying it's dry for the main race. Everyone's weather radar is a bit skewed at the moment. Let's leave that like that. What is Edvir doing, man? Come on, lad. Get yourself into the pits, please. It's a major, big way to not get yourself liked by the rest of the grid. But since we've missed all the dry weather qualifying, Piastri on pole, Nico P2, Tomboy P3, Mendel P4, Pickle P5, Edvir P6, Skippy P7, Metal Saviour P8, and Stuart P9 without a time set. Few people away this week, holidays and whatnot. It's expected in the summer holidays as well, so there we go. All them times fairly decent. Nico 4/10 off the pace against Piastri. Must have a more higher downforce set for sector 1 and 2. Piastri going for maybe a lower downforce for the straight. Who knows? But we move on. Right, so it is dry apparently. We've got the all clear to say it is dry. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Keep an eye on Discord as well, just in case. In the opening stages of the race. Right. Apparently the go time is at 8 o'clock UK time. Oh, somebody's readied up apparently. Why? Oh, Metal Savior readied up on accident. We have a lobby restart. Oh, Spoony. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Savior. Oh, okay, Savior's only. Right, we'll await a restart. So how did you crash out then, Spoony? What did you do? Time for some Miami practice, I guess. I'll join you afterwards, after this race is done. Unless you want to come and join in the fun. I'm having 10, then I'll start session from Miami. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Do I have Piastri added? Do. The last corner of the S section. Astoria and Bim will hit me. Last section, S section. Oh man, that's an unusual place to lose it. Very unusual. I think we've got all 9 back in. We'll double check the settings. And that's been changed. Safety car. Let's see if we change that to immersive. Yep. Formation lap is on. Immersive standard. Cool. Car damage is the next one to see. Yep, there we go. Cool. Looks good. Right, here we go then. Looks like everybody is a go. Hopefully people do not already up. All right, let's go then. Let's get everybody readied up and we can get the show on the road. Right then, here we go. Formation lap is a go. Everyone apart from Skippy and Metal Savior is on the mediums, and Skippy and Savior are on the hards. Interesting how it all lines up. Stuart disqualified? Skippy disqualified? Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't want lap data, and we will... Track map is on. Okay. You know what? We'll keep telemetry off because we don't want people jumping in and checking out ERS. No zoom, no party. Basically. Let's pick the wrong people up in. Oh dear. We got Stew Dog at least. Apparently he tapped Skippy in the formation lap. Oh yes. The weaving is currently dead on this game. Oh, we got these guys going very slowly. Edvia lagging all over the place. Not what you want to see. And here we go. The remaining cars line up on the back of the grid. And here we go then. We got 5 lights. And away we go. Piastri gets away well, but so does Nico there in P2. Getting quite up alongside Piastri going into turn 1. Nico gets a move done up the inside. And gets the move done on Piastri. Oh, Piastri coming back at him up against up the inside. Very aggressive from the McLaren on the Mercedes. But now gets the position done. We can put the tyres away for now. Very aggressive battling there from the front two. Everyone else though chopping and changing here and there. Got Mr. Pickle up 1, Skippy up 2, Mendel down 2, Stewart up 1 and Metal Savior up 1. Edvia lagging behind the back. We got Mendel getting up ahead of Skippy here. Gets the move done before the braking zone, and great move there by Mendel. Just want to see what's going on with Edvia. Looks a little bit laggy. Metal Savior following closely behind Stewart here. Mendel able to defend off against Skippy going down the long straight as well. So we move further up the grid now. So we follow on from Rouge Nico. And the timing screen's butchered up a little bit. There's the front four now. Starting to pull a bit of a hefty gap away from the guys at the back. I'd love to know what the gap is, but the gap being very buggy. And Stewart into the pits. What tyre goes on for Stewart? Fresh set of mediums. Advert 10-second. Hey, was that a purposeful DNF? Because he's cut a corner and gone straight over. Because he cut that corner there and then went. Yeah, look, you can see the time marks on track. That is very odd. Edvir is typing in the Discord as well, so we'll see what he has to say about that. Disconnection of my will, try to solve it. Shit. Apparently the wheel disconnected. And that is him done. Metal Saviour into the pit and fitting the medium tyre. Opting to get the early pit stop done. I don't think he needed to get it done this early though. He was on the hard tyre to begin with. But opting to get the pit stop done and dusted. Stu maybe opting to go for the hards here. Very long pit lane. And the hards go on for Stew Dog. Time to play catch up for Saviour and Stewart. But this works out better for Nico and Tomboy as they were just slowly dropping off from Piastri. And this rolling start means a better chance for them to have a slipstream going up into turn 1. See how that goes. So whilst we're waiting for the safety car to come in, we will get a few graphics on stream just to give the guys at home an idea of what the standings currently are in the league. Open that in a browser and we will open the constructors as well. And here we go, the current standings as it is so far. Mendel is currently leading the way, followed by Tomboy, then Piastri, then Stewart. Figueroa is now up in Division 2, but his points still remain on the board. I'll have to change that at some point though. 50 Gent, then Mr. Zoom, then Edvir, then Skippy, Mr. Pickle, then Rouge Nico P11 in the table, Twifu P12, Rhodium P13, Cam P14, Great Ace P16, Medal Savior, P17. Alex not scoring any points just yet. B Pomp no points, and A5 dropping down from Division 2. No race under his belt yet and no points. Over to the constructor standings. Alfa Romeo leading the way on 115 points. Mercedes and AlphaTauri both moving up a position on 75 points, joint apiece, but Mercedes in P2 though due to a win. McLaren P4, Red Bull P5, Williams P6, Aston Martin P7, Alpine P8 and Ferrari P9, followed by Haas, with no drivers for them at the moment and no points. Back to the action. And it looks like Piastri has gone here. Very tidy restart there. Nice and clean. Who has the better exit here? Is it the McLaren? Is it the Mercedes? Nico getting very close now. But Pickle all over the back of Tomboy right now as well. Mercedes v McLaren. Very interesting lineup here, but Mendel looking on getting involved in this battle as well. Who's not too far behind, and we've got Medal Savior spun around right now. Looking to try and get going again. Ooh, bit of a squirrely moment there from both drivers actually. I was about to say Piastri looking a bit unsettled, and then Nico followed suit on the same corner. And it looks like Mr. Pickle is absolutely burning to try and get up ahead of Tomboy here, and it's about to go to 3 wide up into the final corner, penultimate corner. Very smart there from Pickle. Just backs out a little bit, but still gets the move done on Tomboy. Great move from the McLaren driver. And now he has his eyes set on Rouge Nico. But Tomboy not going to go down without a fight, and will come back at Mr. Pickle. Bit hard to say who had the faster straight line speed there, but the slipstream certainly did help both drivers. And now Nico slowly losing distance to Piastri. But the top 4 slowly pulling away. P5 in an island on its own a little bit. Actually, no. Tell a lie. Skippy right on the back here. And so is Stewart. But Mendel struggling here to keep up with the top 4. Well, this will be the interesting one now. Will Mr. Pickle be able to get the move done on the other Mercedes driver up this main straight? ERS is active for a brief moment there to try and keep him up there. Tomboy too far back to even have a look. And it stays as it is. We've got a yellow flag again. Tomboy, 5 seconds for corner quitting. Okay, I completely missed what happened there. But Tomboy under a lot of pressure here. Gotta try and keep his composure. Not let the 5-second penalty unsettle him. We'll have his eyes set on Mendel here. Will be within the DRS of Mendel if he can stick within this gap. Try and use that DRS to his advantage to try and catch up to the guys ahead. But a second split in most of the top three now. Pickle just about breaching back into that 1 second gap now. And that's very deep there from Stewart. Way off track. Must be really struggling on those hard tyres to get him up to temperature. But this four-way battle for fourth place, sorry, is heating up a little bit, and Tomboy getting ever so closer to Mendel. Has the DRS now. That, I don't know why we've just seen that angle there. It just means nothing to us, but Mendel losing the rear end a little bit. And Tomboy able to capitalise on this, going up and around the outside. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't. There's contact between Mendel and Tomboy. Mendel did not want to give that position away and threw his car up the inside. Controversy between the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes. But Mendel able to get into the pits there. Excuse me. I don't know if he had slight wing damage there and he tried to pit, but no wing change there for Mendel. And away he goes onto the hard tyre. Put telemetry on. I don't usually like putting the telemetry on in case people are watching and they can gather information off each driver. It's not ideal, personally. Well, as we follow on from Pickle. As he is within DRS now of Rouge Nico. Nico slowly dropping off as well from Piastri. 2.8 away. Make it 2.9. I think Piastri's straight line speed is just so much more superior that it's just 2/10 is losing on the straight. We've had Mendel around as well at some point. I don't know what happened there. Oh, yeah. Wait, sorry. He pitted, didn't he? Idiotic moment there. Sorry. As we follow on with Stewart, who's right up behind Skippy here. Following through the long sweeping right-hander. Overshoots it there majorly. Goes so deep, Stewart, and he's going to lose so much more time to Skippy now. Skippy will be able to breathe now and know Stewart will be outside of DRS. Just got to keep it neat and tidy, but Stewart somehow finding the time to bring it back and close the gap to Skippy again through that middle sector. Maybe sector 2 is Skippy's weaker side. Might have opted for the straight line speed. And Rouge, Nico and Pickle going side to side here, and Nico finding a way to keep Mr. Pickle at bay around the outside. Great move from the two drivers, showing a lot of respect. But Pickle, low ERS now. It's always that psychological mind game between the two drivers, not knowing what sort of ERS they're both on. But Piastri loving every moment of this now. His teammate attacking the guy behind him. giving him the opportunity to create a gap. But that's Stewart out of this race, and we now have a safety car. What has happened here? Ooh. Xavier wanted to give us a front row view of what happened, but I think Stewart just lost his rear there, just like Xavier did, and into the barrier he went. So we started with 9 and now we're down to 7 drivers, all with a good chance of having some decent points here today. All they've got to do is finish. Now the least amount of points going out to somebody today is 4 points now. So is it 1, 2? No, 6 points. The least amount of points going out is 6 points. So much up for grabs. But this will be very annoying for Piastri. Creating gaps and then a safety car coming out to reduce that deficit. So Piastri pits. So does Nico, and so does Mr. Pickle. Mr. Pickle taking a very patient line here, and he's losing it, taking it very patiently, might I add. He wanted no room for error there, but Skippy, out on the hards, has managed to stay out and will be leading the race. Now, has he made a stop already? No, he hasn't. So he stayed out on the hard tyres. What, was that the right call? Could he have opted to go for soft medium? I'm not too sure. Tomboy is pitted. Mandel goes ahead. And Xavier pits again. Will most likely be for the hard tyre. Yes, it is. And Tomboy onto the hards. Served his 5-second penalty as well for corner cutting at one stage. We weren't too sure what that was all for, but, or how it happens, should I say, sorry. But we go on board and follow on with Piastri right behind Skippy, leading the way for now. But net race lead falls on the Piastri. Let's have a look at the tyre life for everyone's cars. Skippy on 10 lap old hards, and everyone else pretty much fresh hards other than Mendel and Xavier. Interesting situation here. And we'll have a quick break whilst we wait for Xavier to catch up with the rest of the pack for this final lap of the safety car. Okay, so all 7 cars have grouped back up together now. Excellent. Bert Moilander will be getting the heads up to come in at the end of this lap very soon. think just as we approach the little white line for the at the end of this straight where this sector 2 ends is when the notification should come up. Here we go. Yep. Safety car is in this lap. Skippy will be controlling the pace of the pack of cars. And we want to make sure everyone is very spaced out and allows the safety car to pull away here. Don't want to be going too quickly now. You want to give that as much space as possible. But Skippy's still going quite quickly here. He should be slowing down a little bit more. I'm not giving the safety car a lot of time to get into the pits here. Does move very slowly. But I think Skippy is going. The foot is down and he is away now. But Piastri not falling for it and sticking with him all the way through here. And Piastri right on the back of Skippy here, but has a much better exit coming around the final corner. And so is Nico as well, actually. And Nico coming up the inside of both cars here, going up into turn 1. Up the inside of Skippy here and makes the double overtake on Piastri and Skippy here. What a move from the Mercedes driver. And Skippy struggling here, finding the grip compared to everyone around him on much fresher tyres. And he's just been absolutely eaten up after turn 1. Has this decision to stay out on these hards come back to haunt him? As he's now got to worry about the other Mercedes driver who's got so much fresher tyres. Having a little look up the inside on Skippy here, but Skippy trying to stay afloat but has to use the runoff area. Goes so far wide. And Nico slowly just under a second out from Piastri. And now Tomboy getting the slipstream from Skippy here. ERS deployed. Going down the main straight. Can he get the move done before the final penultimate corner here? Who's later on the brakes? Tomboy's up the inside here. Gets the move done. Skippy shows enough space and respect and doesn't fight it too hard. And that's a position up for Tomboy. We move up to Mendel. And see the battle up ahead of him, the front 3 cars battling it out, and he wants to get involved and he wants to get closer to Mr. Pickle. But the tyre advantage is up towards the Mercedes and the McLarens at the moment. My word, Piastri is all over the back of Nico. Closing in ever so more. What are these dodgy angles? Nico going a little bit wide there, having to use a runoff there. And Mr. Pickle Piastri having such a better exit here, can put the pressure on Nico here. Let's get on board because Nico is feeling all kinds of pressure here. Both McLarens giving Nico such a hard time. And Piastri's straight line speed is so much greater than Nico's. Look at it go. The McLaren is an absolute rocket ship. And Nico cannot do anything about it. And has to settle for P2 for now. Can he keep close to Piastri here? Piastri setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:36.3. Absolutely lightning lap. Mendel still not being able to get any closer to these guys. But we'll keep an eye on the timing board to see if people get closer. We'll keep an eye on the distance between Tomboy and Mendel as well. 2.3 as it stands at the moment. We'll come back to it. But Mr. Pickle trying to catch up and not lose too much distance between the front two. Got to maintain this gap from himself and P4. But Tomboy is gaining on Mendel here. 2.1 seconds now. Nico getting harder on the brakes. Has a little bit of a moment there on the exit. And probably gets 2 warnings for the price of 1. As he gets a little bit squirrely in. Ooh, controversy. Bit of a moment there between the Mercedes and the McLaren. And this brings Mendel straight into the fight. Burning every last ounce of ERS to get ahead of these two. And gets 2 for the price of 1. Oh my word.
Jack.
Sorry about that. Just getting some water. But Nico caught up in a bit of a moment with Mr. Pickle. Almost getting another moment with him there as well. I mean, he was asking, do I want anything from downstairs? So I was just like, yeah, I'll have some water. Go on. Right, let's try and reset here. But Piastri loving life up in P1 with a 3.4 second gap. And now a battle for P2 is on the cards between Mendel, Pickle and Nico. Tomboy is also getting involved here now. But now Mr. Pickle will be looking to get the DRS on Mendel here. ERS on the go as well. Can see the battery up ahead of him blinking away. And this will allow Mr. Pickle to close the gap. And has such a better exit on the corner as well. And Nico has to pit here. Did he get some wing damage in that little mess up there with Pickle? We'll stay on board and find out. A new wing is coming. So yes, he did get the slight bit of damage. Back onto the mediums for Nico. Skippy as well, pitting for fresh mediums. And that promotes Xavier up into P5 for now. Tomboy setting the fastest sector 1 of the lot so far. Trying his hardest to close the gap to Mr. Pickle, but Pickle having a look at Mendel here. The ERS is a burning. Trying to close that gap, trying to put Mendel under so much pressure here. And it's a lot closer this time. The ERS is on. He's in the slipstream, and the slipstream is so much stronger this time. And the DRS is open. He gets through. Makes the move well before the second to last corner. And up into second. Pickle goes. Who's commentating? It is me, Toto Hammer. Where are you tonight, Great Ace? Division 3 is missing you. An opportunity to get some easy points this week. But as it sits at the moment, Piastri and Pickle picking up the 1-2 for McLaren. Nice and easy. Mendel slowly catching back up. He sees the light blink of Pickle. Knows his battery's low. in the same sort of boat as him right now. But it's that psychological mind game coming into effect here. Who has more? Who has less? And too much apex there from Mendel. Manages to save it though. Very lucky from the Alfa Romeo. That's all good, man. No worries. Thought I'd get in there because my race ended early. But not always will I be doing Division 3. I'll try and do my best to fill in when I can. But, you know, that's how it goes. But Mendel, very lucky to survive. But this brings Tomboy up into the final step of the podium for now. You'll see Pickle with that light blinking. 1.8 second gap. And he knows the Mercedes is coming. It's all about ERS management right now. Who can hold out the best? Who can keep the most consistent pace? But I think it'll be more of a case of Pickle holding up Tomboy if he catches and allow his teammates to get this nice win for McLaren. Across the grid so far, we got Skippy 2.3 seconds behind Reach Nico here. Nico 5.8 behind Metal Savior. We got Mendel 2.7 behind Tomboy. And it's just, it's almost like Pickle is trying to save a bit of tyre life. If we have a look at tyres, the front three on 8 lap old hards, Mendel on 11 lap old hards, Savior on 10 lap old hards, and Nico and Skippy on fresh mediums. It wouldn't surprise me if Nico or Skippy tries to put in the fastest lap attempt here. And Nico right on the prowl here, who's pretty much done. 3 or 4 seconds closing in on Metal Savior here. Sets a purple sector 2 and has Metal Savior in his sights here. Will he have got the DRS from Nico? ERS is burning. No DRS, he must have missed the activation point, but gets a slipstream off Metal Savior here and gets the move done just before the corner. And Metal Savior not fighting it too hard here. Knows the tyre difference is so big. And Nico around the final corner. There'll be an ERS on to set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:35.3. Sees Mendel up ahead of him, who's just come out on some fresh tyres as well. Are those some fresh softs there for Mendel? Yes, it is. Mendel on the fresh softs, going for the faster lap as well now. Savior also pitting for the fresh softs. Now. Mendel knew he weren't going to lose a place and thought he would box for the fresh softs to try and go to the end. Not a bad shout, especially to try and get the fastest lap as well. Now it's all about, can he keep the distance between himself and Nico? Will these softs last until the end as well? Fastest middle sector on his out lap. Now it's Tomboy ever so close now to Mr. Pickle. He'll be within DRS now. DRS open and Pickle breaking the toe, goes quite to the as far left as possible before the sweeping right-hander. That is the long turn 1 into turn 2. Tomboy still staying very close. Tomboy getting a much better entry and exit here compared to Pickle. And Pickle really feeling the pressure here going through sector 2. Can finally hear now, gone back to the room. How much longer are you away for, Aaron? And Tomboy getting closer and closer to Pickle here, but Pickle doing a stellar job of keeping him behind. But with how close Tomboy is coming up now, you can just imagine it. This move might get done before that penultimate corner. ERS has been used a little bit. DRS open. The slipstream is in effect. But no. Pickle's straight line speed is enough for now. And I think Tomboy is just trying to save that ERS. Preserve the battery. And we'll wait to find the right moment. Come back Tuesday, booked for 10 days. Oh, nice. Yeah, Tomboy is just buying his time here. Being piggybacked off Pickle. Whilst his teammate up ahead is pulling away. 6.3. And Mendel setting the fastest lap of a 1:34.2. I'm pretty sure that's 1.3 seconds faster than Nico's previous one. 1.1 seconds, sorry. Very impressive on the soft tire. But Tomboy following closely still. Mr. Pickle struggling a little bit here. And here comes the DRS for Tomboy, and he sees the light blinking. He knows that he's going to be suffering now for the next few laps. So it's all just about keeping close. Let that battery recharge. And just stay as close as possible here to Mr. Pickle and just pounce when it's too late for Mr. Pickle to make a reaction to it. Excuse me. But Piastri at the moment doing an absolute stellar drive. Has been so rapid this whole weekend. Done everything right. Qualified on pole. And it's absolutely... his race pace has been phenomenal. The two safety cars brought the pack back closer to him again. And it's able to pull away every single time. Drove consistently. But we'll go back to the battle for second place. As Nico has dropped off a fair bit from Mendel. And this is the only battle on at the moment. Again, the battery has charged up a fair bit for Tomboy. And he still sees that red light blinking for Mr. Pickle. And a little bit of let off there from Tomboy. Really smart driving as well to try and keep that battery charged. And we'll probably go for it on the last lap. Pickle throwing everything he's got at this race. Doesn't know what sort of situation Tomboy is in right now. And he's just clinging on for dear life right now. Oh, bit of a moment there from Mr. Pickle. And Tomboy getting a much better exit here. And the pressure was on there for Mr. Pickle for a brief moment there. And a little bit again. The rest steps out. And Tomboy can smell the fear running in from Mr. Pickle here. The mistakes are creeping in. Mr. Pickle has just got to settle himself here. Collect his thoughts and just relax, reset, and go again before it all hits him too hard. But little by little, as we get to the same point, there's more and more battery for Tomboy to use here. And it's the same old situation. The light blinking ahead of him. He just knows is in a much better situation going into these last few laps. And it's getting so much closer as well. Mr. Pickle is struggling on the exit of each corner. What a drive these two are putting on for us here. If we went for these two very close, I think this race would be a bit of a snooze fest. But my word, some great driving at the moment. Hoping that we'll see a lot more action in the last 2 laps. Oh, Nico has pitted. I don't know if I agree with that call there. He's effectively dropped a place to gain 1 point. I don't know if that's the right one, but he wants the fastest lap away from Mendel. He wants to bring the fastest lap to Mercedes, which is fair enough. But he would have had the extra points had he stayed in 5th. And here we go again then. Tomboy deciding this is the moment now, he wants to pounce. Gets the move done with, and he's got 30% left battery still to play with as well. Finally gives us an overtake. And he makes the move stick for now. But the question is, can he pull away here from Mr. Pickle? Pickle struggling here. He's got barely any ERS. He's only got DRS to rely on here to try and keep him close to Tomboy. It's make or break here. He's got to stay with Tomboy through this first and middle sector. If he loses him before the straight, he may as well accept P3. And it's a second adrift at the moment, and Tomboy is absolutely pulling now. And Pickle daring him and pushing his luck to the absolute limit, riding each cut they dares. .2 seconds adrift. Into the braking zone. Is it enough? Can he get within a second before this activation point? No, he can't. That's going to be no DRS for Mr. Pickle coming up this main straight now. And his race is pretty much and effectively going to be so much more difficult now to try and catch up. All he can hope for now is a mistake from Tomboy. But Tomboy, just so much more battery to play with. Can keep the distance between him and Mr. Pickle. Nico, 3-second time penalty there. Second penalty of the race. So we go to the spectator cam just to have a bit of a breather from being on board. Bit of a rear lock there from Tomboy. But slowly but surely increasing the gap from Mr. Pickle. And you could argue he's picked the right time to go on the attack and to pull that gap as well for Mr. Pickle, who's still been struggling, sitting on the same amount of battery for the last few laps. But will do everything he possibly can. Use up every last ounce of ERS to try and gain down this last main straight before the final lap begins. But the gap is not closing, it's extending, and I think he'll soon realise that he'll have to settle for the third step on the podium, whereas his teammate will settle for the top step. As it stands at the moment, it's a very high gear there from El Savior. Now, Nico did pit for the soft tyres. His call for the softs hasn't really worked out so far, unless he can get the fastest lap here, which he can't so far. So the call to pit and to try and go for the fastest lap hasn't worked out for him, and lost a place in doing so. And it looks like Pickle has had to be careful here, gone into fuel saving mode pretty much. The light is flashing. He's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to run out of fuel going down this main straight. He'll get eaten up by Mendel. He's got to be careful. But Mendel also 4.4 seconds away. Is absolutely flying. He's 10 seconds away at one point, and now he's up to 4.2 seconds away. And Pickle's got to be so careful now. His low fuel mode doesn't kick in. And that is Piastri crossing the line, P1. Tomboy coming home in P2. Pickle comes across the line in P3. Mendel slowly but surely crosses the line in P4. Great race from the top three. And the light for the fuel is flashing as well for Skippy. I don't think it's going to quite kick in just here. And I think it would be safe if it did. Skippy crosses the line in P5. Nico across the line in P6. And Xavier not too far away now. We'll finish off today's race in P7. Around the final corner for Xavier. And across the line, takes the final spot of P7. A nice solid 6 points for Metal Xavier. Mendel is your driver of the day today. And there is your podium. Piastri on pole. Gets the race win. Tomboy P2 and Pickle P3. Great race out there. Let's go to the race director and just scan everything here, just in case if it's ever needed. you go. That has been your race for this evening. Where are Division 3 in next week, I wonder? Division 3 race at Silverstone next week. Silverstone next week for Division 3. Division 2 is at Miami. And Division 1 is at Baku. So until Wednesday night, guys, Apollo will be commentating for Division 2 under the lights of the street lights of Miami. Until then, catch you all in the next one, and about time McLaren done something. But yeah, until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a good week. See you later.